guys and gals, Never here from Drag Queen Gaming. It's the Mounts of the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Conway, Samuel's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. I guess, but what about you? I'm the ship's surgeon and don't touch anything in their domain. I assume that is good enough to assuage their beliefs. She crosses her arms and tips her head back, looking up at the ceiling. But even then, I'm only here because of Arthur. We have a bit of history together, and he had enough influence to calm their concerns. Samuel's been on this ship for years, right? They still have problems after all that? I'm in no rush to find out, man. This ship and the crew mean too much for me to risk that, you know. Could you hand me the rum, Raj? You nod understanding and watch as Rajeeyah reaches back, grabbing the bottle by the neck, swinging it around to the maned wolf. Samuel quickly uncorks the bottle and lifts it back for a heavy gulp. Is the pain coming back? With his lips sealed to the bottle, Samuel isn't able to answer and shakes his head instead, sending his braided hair swaying from left to right. He takes another hefty swig before finally lowering the bottle down to speak. Calm in the nerves, Raj. I'm sorry, really, trust me, you don't have to worry about me spilling it to anyone. Samuel nods his appreciation and hands the bottle over to you. I appreciate it. Want a sip? What do you do? Take a sip of the rum. Taking the bottle in paw, you bring it up for a single swallow, letting the alcohol's burn hit the back of your throat and quickly warm your belly. When you bring your head back down, you spot Rajeeyah next to you with her paw held in front of her eyes. It wasn't enough to make you feel completely calm given the situation, but it helps. You offer the faintest smile to Rajeeyah and tip the bottle towards her. Oh, no, thank you. I try not to drink the heavier stuff. I prefer not to drink any at all, mind you, but I'll take grog over getting sick from stale water. She just makes sure us poor victims of happenstance are well supplied. Samuel adds with a laugh and holds out his hand for you to give him the bottle again. He quickly recorks the rum and stashes it down at the side of the bed. Someone has to, right? Not like you'll be walking out here anytime soon, let alone up to get a drink. You clearly haven't seen my determination to get hold of good alcohol. Just don't make a habit of sharing it, yes? You know I'm in charge of keeping track of inventory. You're lucky that I didn't see your transgression just now, or I would have had to report you for disciplinary measures. And not to mention that would reflect badly on me if I didn't have the medications under my supervision under control. So, really nobody else knows. With the bottle out of the way, Samuel slumps into the bed, crossing his arms behind his head, sinking back into the mattress. It is somehow still a well-kept secret, and the only other person who knows is Arthur. That Arthur? He has no problem with it? The very same. Yeah, he sees no issue with it. A good sailor's a good sailor in his eyes. Conrad? Bandil? None of them? God, no. Conrad would probably throw me overboard himself. Your eyes widen at the revelation. He isn't the type to go that far, is he? At least to you, he's been pleasant enough. Now, don't get me wrong. He's good company, but he's a Navy guy down to the bone. After enough cannonballs get shot at your head, you cling to whatever superstitions see you through it. I don't blame him, judging by what he's told me over the years. You take a moment to think, your eyes finding the wooden floor at your feet. I see what you mean. So you've managed to keep it under wraps for all these years? On this cramped ship? How? A quiet chuckle comes from the maned wolf, the blanket shifting as he lifts a knee and plants his foot against the mattress. He learned to deal with it. Nobody looks too closely when you're taking a shit. Samuel, please. What? He asked. And you go on and describe that of all things? Well, if someone wouldn't have interrupted, then I would have gone on and mentioned other things as well. The cheetah gives a dismissive wave of her hand, allowing Samuel to continue. Wear loose clothes. I'll just sleep with his shirt on, though that can be a pain in the ass given how hot this thing gets below deck. You get the idea. And would you prefer me to keep using Samuel even in private? The maned wolf simply shrugs. Honestly, I don't mind or one or the other. It might as well be my real name after 5 years of everyone calling me Samuel. Besides, Samuel's a fine name, isn't it? I would have chosen it if I didn't like it, after all. He adds with a gentle smile before you can answer. It is, and I won't run the risk of mixing them up, I guess. I'd prefer it if you could avoid that, yes? A soft scratching makes your ears swivel in its direction. Both Samuel and Rajeeyah turn toward the door as the sound catches their attention. I'm quite popular today, aren't I? Can you open that door, Raj? Sounds like someone wants to be let in. Let in? You're not sure just who you're expecting that would need to be let in, but first things first, and you watch as Rajeeyah leans over in her chair to grab the door handle and give it a strong enough tug that it springs out of its latch. The door swings open ever so slightly with a labored creak, and through the crack slips a small creature. It's hard to make it out at first, but as it was bathed in the warm light of the lamp, the shade of the little thing became clearer. A long-haired tabby cat slips into the room, its silent steps observed by 3 pairs of curious eyes. The cat scans the room for a second and stops when it spots you, staring for a moment longer before continuing on its way. An easy hop brings it up onto the bed, but as if to tease Samuel, it then turns and pops into Rajeeyah's lap rather than settling down on the bed. Damn it, Mo, how can you be so cruel? I'm the one who's hurt, not her. Rajeeyah laughs softly as she begins to run her paw down along the cat's arched spine, wrapping her fingers around the raised tail to let her hand run all along the length of the fluffy appendage. That's Mo? He asked and gestured to the cat. Yes, the big old Grouch. Been with us for a while. It's rare that he comes to visit, rarer still that he endures such attention. Usually claws get involved, but he has his moments. This looks to be one of them. We don't want the mice and rats eating through all our supplies, do we? No, we don't, and that's why you make sure they don't get out of hand, don't you? Our little ferocious hunter. The cheetah speaks with an exaggerated playfulness one would use with a child as she talks to Mo, and pampers the cat with a few gentle scratches behind the cat's ears. I take it there's a second one, then? Michael. He's black, which makes him even harder to spot in the dim light down here in the ship. Though I suppose you'll have an easier time of it, being a cat yourself. She grabs Mo and lifts him over the bed again, so that he can sit with Samuel instead. But of course, cats being cats, he did a quick U-turn and hopped right back to Rajeeyah. Oh, don't be like that, Mo. I'll leave him be. I've had enough stitches for one day. If he's not feeling my company right now, I'd rather not risk it. You reach out carefully and let Mo take a few sniffs of your hand before you dare to give him a gentle scratch under his chin, though the Grouch quickly makes it clear that he's getting a bit too much attention. First, he leans away from your hand, then a second later he jumps off the chair altogether and trots out the cabin with hasty steps. Yep, that's Mo. Huh. Don't take it personally. Michael is the friendlier of the two, and if you ever need someone to be there for you on a bad day. Mo, I think, is just too old for all this and wants to be left alone. Rajeeyah is one of the few people he occasionally seeks out. Not sure if he actually likes me, though. It might just be the smell of blood that interests him. Maybe he just sees you as the third cat on board. Feline, occasionally covered in blood. Has he ever seen you chasing after rats by any chance? The cheetah laughs and leans back in her chair, bringing up a hand to her chin as she takes a couple of moments to think. I don't think so. I've chased one or two out when they've bothered me during operations, but otherwise I've given up chasing them. Either the cats will get them or one of you lot, but I think it would look rather unbecoming of me if anyone saw the ship's doctor chasing after them. Besides, I prefer the finer options. Smoking them out is such an elegant solution. We should make a habit of it more often. The three of you talked for a while longer, but soon Rajeeyah had to tend to Mr. Blackborough and Samuel wanted to lay down for some sleep. So you spend the rest of your time off drifting around the deck, trying to recharge for the next shift when the next shift will be here soon enough. The day passes without much excitement. As the time runs down on the current shift, you soon find yourself called up to work again, feeling at least a tinge more confident now as you and the others end up helping with the other tasks. And just like the morning shift, that next shift would be run out before long, and before long you find yourself in the evening hours of the day, leaving you to wonder what to do this evening, or if you should even do anything at all, or simply head to bed. How do you spend the evening? You hear the familiar sound of the fife, and go to the fife lesson Julia must be holding for Wolf, even if for nothing else, and to make sure they don't be at each other's throats. Rajeeyah picks you up just as you are on your way. Oh, okay. The day is taking it out on you, that is undeniable, and the idea of a comfortable hammock lulling you to a well-deserved slumber, even if just for an hour, sounds ever so enticing. Alrighty. Unfortunately, supper is being given out, damning you to a short-lived rest unless you want to miss out on it. With a grip to the crossbeams, you steady yourself against the rocking of the ship as you walk along the deck, feeling the well-worn planks against the pads of your paws as you scan them for the little number plates that indicate the hammock spots. You pay no mind to the vague movement in your peripheral vision, even after just a short stay like your one grows accustomed to the constant movement on board rather quickly. No, you are focused on one goal and one goal only. The promise of rest and a glimmer of comfort. Maybe even some sleep. A sudden touch on your shoulder snaps you back to reality. Turning to face it, you find the familiar face of the ship's doctor. Would you be so kind to come along for a moment? I was just about to get some rest. You vaguely point at the hammocks. I just need a bit of help. It'll be but a second. So close, yet so far. Maybe you can just... Am I allowed to decline? Your answer catches her off guard. She stops in her step. Yes? Yes, you may. It's not urgent enough that I would absolutely require the assistance. It would simply be appreciated. Well, if it's supposed to be quick, you'll just, get some rest after it. Lead the way, Doctor. You tag along behind the cheetah as she leads you past the busy caboose to an unassuming door at the front of the deck. She pushes down the handle and swings the door open to invite you into the small cabin. Obliging her, you step into the small storage room, barely big enough to fit 2 people standing without stepping on each other's paws. It is only lit by what little natural light makes it all the way back here through the open door. An array of differently sized crates fills the space. Some just stacked on the ground, some placed on the shelves that are attached to the wall. Thankfully the seas have been calm, or otherwise the room would probably be quite a mess. She invites you to sit down in the largest crate as she reaches up to one of the shelves to take out a few of the smaller boxes. What am I supposed to help with? She turns around with a smile on her face and hands them to you one after another. I have to sort through some of these crates to find the shipments that I have requested. Usually anything destined for a cabin the crew doesn't have access to gets stored here until the assigned members picks it out. Mostly it's my stuff, the purser, and whatever the officers and the captain ordered to be loaded for them. You yawn before you can answer and cast a longing look back through the doorway. You play with the thought of asking her for something in return for your help. After all, you could be relaxing in your hammock right now. Your valiant sacrifice is worth something, right? You ask for something in exchange for your help? No. I'm not a dick. But I'm kind of curious. No. Oh, don't look like such a pouting kitten over there, and this will be done in just a minute. Would you be so kind and check these boxes? You set the box down beside you and start with the smallest one of them. You undo the latch that holds them close and lift up the lid. The wood they are made of constantly running coarsely against your fingertips. Alrighty. A square grid of 9 dark glass bottles greets you. It's hard to see through the brown glass they're made of, but they appear to be filled with some kind of liquid. You pick one of the bottles and examine the black label, which bears the fancy white lettering of some manufacturer's name. A name you have never heard of before. What am I supposed to look for? Oh, each box should contain a manifest addressed to me as the ship's surgeon, Rajeeyah al-Maghribi. The room is bathed in the warm mixture of sounds coming from the lively ship, while Rajeeyah adds the scraping of wood as she slides out another box. In your search for the manifest, you find the small folded slip of paper tucked away at the side of the box. Excuse me. Oh, are you able to read it right? You are able to read, right? You nod. The dimly lit cabin makes it hard to read what's written on the piece of paper. It appears to list the contents of the box along with the seller's information and one from the owner of the company. At the very bottom, you find Rajeeyah's name as the one who requested the items. This one's yours. Silver nitrate, I think it says? The handwriting on it is hard to decipher. I'd need a candle, you say, and tuck the piece back into the box. Do I just set it aside somewhere? Yes, somewhere there. We ran out of it for one of the crew, so I made sure to acquire ample of it to prevent it from happening again. A swift flick of her wrist points you towards the vacant space near the door. Just try not to put it out. Just put it outside, or you can be positively certain that someone will take the opportunity to fall over it. Sometimes it feels like they are looking for opportunities to hurt themselves. Alright, y'all, I'm going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Submarine. Thank you for going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 2 gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names and credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!